A Chinese spy balloon that flew over the United States earlier this year did not collect any information. That's according to the US Defense Department. The US shot down the balloon over the Atlantic Ocean in February and collected its debris for analysis. China denied that the device was for spying, saying it was a weather balloon that blew off course.
Many months later.
People in New Jersey are concerned and demanding information after a wave of mysterious drone sightings. But the government has yet to give any concrete answers. One lawmaker is calling for a state of emergency, while another has an ominous theory about a foreign adversary.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Vary. That's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we have drones. Yeah, we've got drones. They're flying all over the place. They're flying over New Jersey. Many of them, some people say as many as 20 to 30 of them, the size of small cars, flying over New Jersey, flying over Trump's golf course, flying next to water supplies. Who knows where else they're flying? We've had them flying over Nevada, over military bases, right? We've had that before. Last year, as you saw in the beginning of the video, we had the Chinese spy balloon, which was allowed to float across the entire country before Joe Biden and the Pentagon decided to finally shoot it down. Now we have drones, and nobody seems to have any answers. So we're going to have a video from CBS News on this. We're going to have Congressman Van Drew in that report from New Jersey, former Democrat, now Republican, who thinks that these are from Iran, from a mothership that has left Iran and is launching these drones from a mothership. That the Pentagon says is not true. Who are we to believe? I don't know. And then we're going to have a News Nation report with a New Jersey state legislator named Bergen, who went to a emergency meeting yesterday in New Jersey over these drones, where the governor, Phil Murphy, decided he didn't need to show up, even though he called the meeting. I don't know. You got me. Anyway, we'll hear from him. He's very frustrated. And then we'll do another News Nation panel with Chris Cuomo. We'll try to figure out ourselves, I guess, what exactly these car-sized drones are flying over our country. Without any further ado, let's go.
Here's CBS's Tom Hansen.
This is over my house right now. What is that?
It's the million-dollar question baffling New Jersey residents looking skyward.
They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
Since last month, dozens of drones mysteriously hovering in the skies at night. Near Morris County, the FAA has now ordered 2 temporary flight restrictions prohibiting drones over this military base and Trump National Golf Club after receiving reports of unexplained activity. Today, Homeland Security and state police met with some New Jersey officials, including Mayor Jim Maley.
I truly don't believe they have any idea where the drones are coming from.
Many still have questions, including Congressman Jeff Van Drew, who says individuals with high security clearance have a theory about where the drones come from.
Their concern is that a mothership has left from Iran weeks ago, coinciding about the time somewhere along the area of the United States.
Did I say in the last video I just did today? I'll put it up. I'll put it up top for you. Okay. That we're living in a movie. Yeah, we have motherships now. Remember the movie Independence Day with the mothership that was out in the middle of space and it was sending all the little ships down to Earth to destroy all the cities? I said, we're literally living in a movie. We have motherships now.
Doesn't mean they're right off the coast.
But in a briefing today, Pentagon officials dismissed the claim outright.
We have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary.
In Mendham, New Jersey, Olivia DiMattio's coffee shop is right near the sensitive locations where the drones have been spotted.
How big are these things? You know, are they different sizes?
They are the size of small cars, like almost like a Mini Cooper or a Ford Escape size. So it's not something that a kid is buying off of Amazon and flying around as a prank. Like, it's way, way past that.
Well, thank you, Olivia DiMattio, owner of the coffee shop, for giving us more information on the drones that we've gotten so far from our own government. Really appreciate it. Maybe we need more coffee shop owners on the case. I don't know. Now let's get into another report here. This one from News Nation with Bergen, that legislator I mentioned. Let's go.
Assemblyman, this is happening in your state. You say that was the biggest waste of 5 hours in your life. What was said behind closed doors, and why are you so upset of what you heard?
It was a whole lot of nothing. It was a.
What do you mean?
It was a Bush League meeting, really. I mean, all they did was tell us they don't know anything that's going on.
Do you believe them?
They're not sure what's going on, and they don't have any idea when they might know what's going on. And so what was really infuriating, here's the part that really set me off and made me leave the meeting, quite frankly. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter hovering over one of these drones at one point. He said it was a 6-foot drone. And he had a helicopter hovering over this drone. Now, I was a helicopter pilot myself, an attack helicopter pilot for the Army. So I know how helicopters work. I know how their vision systems work. And so he said that he didn't feel safe for his pilots, so he had them land. 30 minutes later, he says, I wish we knew where they took off and landed.
He was ordered to call that helicopter off of that drone. Guaranteed. He was told, get the helicopter away from that drone. Now we need to know who gave him that order.
I was like, well, why don't you just follow the friggin' thing to where it lands?
What'd
I
they
mean,
say?
I don't understand.
What'd they say?
Well, he didn't say anything because he didn't take my questions.
He was told to get your helicopter away from the drone. That's why. 2 + 2 is 4. Okay? It makes no sense that he would say, oh, I fear for my pilots because of this drone. No, if it doesn't make sense, right? If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. So he was ordered to call that helicopter off of that drone.
He wouldn't take my questions. He was asking everybody around me, and then I got up and left. I was just fed up. It was a total waste of our time.
Do you think they were lying to you? Do you think federal officials were lying to you? Or is there a world that exists in which they don't know and you asked fair questions and they rightly didn't have answers?
I do not think they're lying to us.
Yes, they are. I understand your position. You probably can't say what you really think. I'll say it for you. Yeah, they're lying to you.
I think they're completely frigging incompetent.
That could be true,
it could
too.
be another example.
Two things could be true at the same time. They're lying and they're incompetent.
They said that there was some device that the Homeland Security had. We're going to provide to the state police that could identify by radar a drone and kind of track it and discern it from a bird. That's a pretty good tool in this situation. And when one of my colleagues asked when they would get it, the colonel said in a couple days. And I'm like, a couple days? They are obviously not taking this seriously. If they were, that thing would be on a friggin' van on its way to New Jersey today. It would be here right now, and they'd be using it right now. This is ludicrous. So, no, I don't think they're lying. I think that they're telling the truth. They have no idea because they're completely inept.
Again, I disagree. They are inept, but they're also lying.
We got to leave it there. I feel the passion, I feel the anger, and I feel the angst really coming from you. Brian Bergen, as you say, as you rightly should be. Assemblyman there in the state of New Jersey meeting with Homeland officials earlier today. Brian, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, so there you had Brian Bergen, a legislator from New Jersey, who's obviously frustrated. And like I said, he can't say what he really thinks. He knows that they know, and he knows they're lying to him. And they are, yes, they are incompetent. We know that too. But that pilot, that helicopter pilot from the state police was ordered by the colonel who was ordered to take them off of that drone. Guaranteed. That's how these things work. He didn't just say, oh, I feel afraid. No. Was the drone threatening them? Was the drone aiming towards them with anything? Were they shooting beams of light at the helicopter? What made those pilots, if you say they were unsafe, what made them feel unsafe in their helicopter? Why? These drones belong to our government. That's what I think. Anyway, let's get to the last report here. Chris Cuomo on News Nation. Let's go.
SUV-sized drones in New Jersey. Dozens of reports. Seen near military bases, armories, civilian areas, over people's houses, properties owned by President-elect Trump. The FBI says they've been investigating it for a month. A month? But many, like my next guests, say the response has been tepid.
I've said it before. Kash Patel cannot get into the head of the FBI, into that office fast enough. He needs to be in there yesterday.
What could they be, and how is this so hard to figure out? Joining us now is New Jersey State Senator John Bramnick and former defense and intel official who investigated UFOs for the federal government, Luis Elizondo. Thank you for having both of you here. I appreciate it. Senator, let me ask you, what do you make of how your requests to satisfy people's curiosity have been met by other officials?
Not very well. Either the government doesn't know anything, or the government is in a position where it's an embarrassment to the people of the state of New Jersey, because people already come to the table with distrust of government. This adds to distrust. And I'm deeply concerned that people are going to come up with conspiracy theories. You see them on the internet all the time. So this doubled down, and it double downs on the people who make up theories and also don't trust government. So it has a double whammy on government.
The amount of damage done to the trust that the people of this country have in government in the FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, the CIA, the HHS. Oh, go down the line. The amount of damage done in the last 8 years in an effort to destroy one person, we know who that person is at this point feels irreparable. And they keep giving us more reasons every day to distrust them even more. This, for example, why can't we get answers on why car-sized drones are flying over New Jersey? Why can't we get answers on that? You've been investigating it for a month. Do they think we're as dumb as they look? They must think we're as dumb as they look. Because this is outrageous at this point. The more I'm watching these reports, the more annoyed I am obviously getting. This is outrageous.
Daddy, chill.
Have they told you anything, Senator, about what to say or what to think?
The only thing I heard is Governor Murphy did a press conference while he was signing another bill, and he indicated he wasn't concerned with the safety of residents. But the residents I represent are deeply concerned that they need a lot more information than a blanket statement that it's still safe out there.
No, you don't deserve any statement, residents of New Jersey, you highest paying in the country, tax-paying schmucks. All right? You don't deserve any answers from your governor. All right? Just shut up. Don't worry about the car-sized drones flying over your house and move on with your lives, okay? The governor of New Jersey is going to be fine. No matter what happens, he'll be fine. His family will be fine. His friends will be fine. Everybody that comes to his clubs, they'll all be fine. Just shut your mouths, pay your taxes, and that's it. Just eat it. Whatever the hell we feed you, eat it.
Daddy, chill.
Simply not enough. We're going to have a briefing tomorrow in Trenton, and I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say.
Well, you got a platform here to tell the country what you're finding out and what you're not finding out whenever you want it. Mr. Elizondo, it's good to have you again. What's your guess on this? I mean, look, the good news is you see a lot of navigation lights on these things. You see red and greens on a lot of these, which, as you know, are familiar lighting that people put on drones over a certain size. What's your guess as to why there's so many over Jersey all of a sudden?
Well, Chris, surprisingly enough, it's not just over Jersey. Recently, over a few weeks ago, we had a very similar issue over Langley Air Force Base, one of our most sensitive military installations. And frankly, if you look back the last 4 or 5 years, there was actually a very similar occurrence back in Colorado, where for weeks, local and state law enforcement officials were chasing these things in the skies, almost doing a racetrack pattern, and no one seemed to know what the heck was going on. Actually, this is one of the very reasons why I decided to testify before Congress a few weeks ago, because quite frankly, we don't really have control of our U.S. airspace. We don't have awareness of what are in our skies.
We got a lot of problems.
Do you believe that the FBI has been looking for a month and doesn't have any answer about what these are when there's so many?
Well, I've worked with the FBI in the past, and they tend to be very, very competent when they're doing investigations. I do believe they have some answers. I don't think they have all the answers yet. What further makes this more complicated, you have an issue where these things are being seen over civilian airspace, so you have jurisdictional issues, right? You have, from a federal perspective, you have FBI leading the law enforcement investigation, but you also have the Department of Defense. You have folks like the U.S. Air Force and Office of Special Investigations. You have DHS and even the FAA. And so all these federal agencies forget.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't have one person at the helm leading all these agencies, and that's called the president. That's called the president of the United States.
Daddy, chill.
January 20th, again, like Kash Patel getting into the FBI, January 20th cannot get here fast enough. I will sacrifice right now, fast forward these days of my life to January 20th to get us there right now so we can get this country back on track, to get to some kind of sanity in this country instead of this nonsense day after day after day.
Forget about even the state and local agencies are trying to work together and try to deconflict what's in the skies. And unfortunately, they just don't seem to have a common operating picture right now of exactly what we're dealing with.
You think they're wrong about the size? Because, it's not easy to find drones of any significant size on the commercial market.
Yeah, so here's the problem, Chris. Great point. We know that commercial drones tend to be a typical size, and they use a certain amount of power, if you will, and have a certain amount of loiter time, a certain amount of range. And typically it can be anywhere between 15, maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky. And then you have to have line of sight in order to control these things. If you talk about anything bigger than that, you're really talking about a state-sponsored capability. This isn't a hobbyist. This isn't a drone that someone buys, let's say, from Radio Shack or buy.
Right. We just learned that from the coffee shop owner. The coffee shop owner knows that. That's exactly.
From Amazon. This is something far more complex that can be flown beyond line of sight, i.e. over the horizon, and has a loiter capability in some cases of several hours. And if you're talking about an SUV size or larger potentially drone, this is a problem. Look, the U.S. Navy has been reporting these types of drones, in some cases the size of cars and even bigger, for years now. And this is exactly emphasizing the point why we need to take this topic seriously.
All right, so we got real problems. Okay, now forget about where these drones are coming from. What he just said, nobody who has this technology to fly a drone the size of a car for hours without refueling it or recharging it or anything. Who has that technology? Does our government have that technology and they're just not telling us? Yeah, that's very possible. That very possible. Does China? Extremely possible. I don't think it's Iran unless China gave them to Iran. Is it some other entity from out of this world? I don't know. I'll hear anything right now and listen to it at this point. To somebody to tell me what the hell these things are. Because obviously our government knows what they are. There's no way you're telling me our government doesn't know what these things are. They know what they are. They know where they're coming from. They're just choosing not to do anything about it for whatever reason. It's not feasible, as incompetent as we know our government is, that they don't know what these things are. Because if that's true, then everybody, last man out, grab the flag. Because it's over. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I can go on and on about this. I'm going to stop it here. I'll be on this. This video will be an hour long. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Where do you think these drones are coming from? Do you think they're from another country? Do you think they're from outer space? Do you think they're from our own government? Let me know in the comments. And what are we going to do about it? And how much do you want January? How fast do you want January 20th to come at this point? Like I said, I'll sacrifice, fast forward these days. I'll give these days of my life up right now to get to January 20th. Right now. Let me know how you feel. I appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on X. Follow me on TikTok at Opinions Vary. See you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.